Hey everybody, it's Lex.
I'm Jordan with PDQ.com.
Hey, we're social distancing, which means, fortunately, you guys are going to have to look at me. So, with that being said, if you squint really, really hard, I look like Beyonce.
I have verified.
Squint harder, guys, squint harder. Hey,
Basically.
we're going to take you guys through getting more out of your inventory reports. So, I'm going to do a little basic, where you find your data, how to build a basic report, and then we'll dig in a little deeper. So, with that, let's go and find out where your data is. Now, the easiest way to do this, and I love Adam, love the programmers. They made this super easy, guys. All you've got to do is just open a machine, okay? And then as you're looking here, on the left side, these would be the tables: computer table, applications table, collection table. And here's where your data is located over here, right? So if I wanted to find uptime, I'd look in the computer tables for uptime, applications. Let's say I wanted to run a report on anything that was installed after a certain date. There's my install date and applications. And you know what? You got your WMI down here at the bottom. Again, here's where you're going to find your data. So if you can find it in a computer, you have a very good idea of where to go find it for your reports and your dynamic collections. So with that, let's just jump in and build a real basic report. So I'm going to go to our report examples here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do a new report, basic report. Now, again, super basic report. I'm just going to call this old apps. And again, this I'm just bringing up so you guys can find your data. Basically, we want the computer name, and then if you look in inventory, I want to look at all the collection library of any machine where it's in a collection where the name has old in it. Pretty easy. So it's a nice way to track down and find apps you need to update. So again, we're going to look in our tables. There it is, member of a collection. Okay, name. And again, here's your columns: description, name, path. We just need the name there. And then your filters, we'll just add a filter. We're going to go after, once again, that member of collection where the name contains old. Now, the great thing is this: if you use this naming convention when you build your collections, for old apps so that you can maintain those, it's just going to fit into this nice and easy. And again, if I hit run, okay, you'll notice I should probably go and make sure I'm selecting what I'm selecting, because I have options here. I can just go select any, let's say Windows 10 servers and run it against that. Okay, this is where you can narrow that down, but I'm going to run it against all computers. There it is. And again, that's the report. Pretty simple, pretty basic, but you know what? I want to take that one step further, and I want to group. Now, grouping, I can do it off any column just by doing a right click. Group by name of collection, or I can group by computer. I want to see which computer has the most apps that need to be updated. So right click, group by this column. There's ABBA, 6. Allen Rails has 9. I should have centered this earlier. Let me just squish this down so JJ can squeeze in on that a little better, JJ.
There we go.
Allen Rails. Oh, here we go. I think we got a winner here. Bird Person. Now, as you expand this, there we go. Apparently, this really has been neglected. And since it's my lab, I'm going to blame Jordan.
That's fair.
That's fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never updated a single bit of software on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you need to get on it, pal. Again, it's kind of simple. It's kind of easy. I'm just going to save that old apps. Okay. Now, that's a basic, obviously a basic, just a simple find the data, put a filter on it. Okay. Another example of some of these, if we go to our reports examples once again, is versions of Firefox. So here, it's interesting. We actually got support tickets of people going like, how do I find out older versions of Firefox? So, I figured let's do this. So here's the all versions of Firefox. Okay. And again, this is how I built it. It's pretty simple, right? Computer, application name, application version. Now, when you're doing reports and you're doing version comparisons, okay? Or anyway, this one is an application, so we're looking for anything that starts with Mozilla Firefox. Comparisons wise, when you do your comparisons, there's a lot of options here. Contains, does not contain, does not equal, equals, does not, matching expressions, that's your regular expressions. And that, but this, we're just going to run with the starts with Mozilla Firefox. There it is. Now, you'll notice we got our version right here. Let's say I wanted to go and take this a step further and I want to see anything with a version older than, let's say anything older than version 70, okay? So I want to get rid of these top 2 lines. So if I go back to my definitions and I go to filters and I add a filter here, application, and we go to version, when you do version comparisons, you absolutely need to use the version comparisons here because, versions are, 100.1 dot, and so they get evaluated different because of the way the versions are recorded. So use your version comparisons. So we'll use versions lower than 70, 70, and we'll run that. And you'll notice anything greater than 70 was removed at this point. So moving forward, remember version comparisons, definitely, use the version comparisons in that. Wow, that sounded ultimately redundant, didn't it?
It is, but it's there's a lot of similar words that go into each version or type of this, so it's easy to get jumbled.
Yeah, that's true. So, and the other thing about version comparisons, let me get rid of that really quick. Let's say we wanted to break this down. Let's say anything less than 68.0, okay? Because of the version comparison, I can actually go to 68.0 and then the 68.1s will still show up just because of how that comparison is done. So, anyway, that's version comparisons in basic reporting. Do we have any questions we want to hit right now?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. One second.
One
Okay.
second, and I will have one for you that is quite
Not
relevant.
a problem.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, dear Lex and Jordan, what's the difference between a report and a dynamic collection on software? I'm chasing down which devices have the new AV software running into contains and does not contain discrepancies. Sincerely, T-Shadow, also known as the Shadow Knows.
The Shadow. Hey, T-Shadow. That is a great question. Here's the way I look at it, okay? A report is something you'd look at, maybe send to your boss. Dynamic collection is something you want to act on. So let's do those. So we're going to build a new dynamic collection, and we're going to go look for, I don't know, since I don't want to dog myself out on, I'm just going to call this AV. And since this is my lab, I didn't put any AV on here, so we're going to look for any application where the name contains 7-zip. This would be, in your case, your AV agent, right? So 7-zip, and I'm doing that just because I know I've got some out there, okay? So as I do that, here's my new dynamic collection. It's going to update, and here will be all the machines that have got 7-zip on there. So in this case, this would be your antivirus agent. Now, to find the ones that don't have it, which are the ones you need to work on, that's why you use a dynamic collection, because you need to work on those, right? You just duplicate this. Right-click, hit duplicate, and then we're going to go and edit this. I like to put the word needs in front of it because I can type that word. And we'll take off the 2. Now, if I go in here and I say, okay, application name does not contain 7-zip in this case, and I let it...
Can you center?
Can I center it?
Yep.
Yes. JJ, sorry about that. They're going to have a meeting about me learning how to do my job before this. Okay. So, does not contain 7-zip. I give it an OK. Now, we're not going to get it what I expect because, so here's the thing, right? We've got 48 machines in our lab. I'm going to get 31 of those, okay? Because 31 of those have had scans and they have software on there. I'm going to open Allen Rails or Bird Person. Let me see. Let's open Allen Rails. I'm going to open out Allen Rails. I'm going to run that logic past you, okay? So, the logic we used was give me any application, give me computers that have any application that does not contain 7-zip in this case. So it goes and evaluates. Adobe Creative Cloud does not contain 7-zip, it qualifies. Local administrator password solution, no 7-zip there, that qualifies. That's a one-to-many relationship. One computer can have many applications on it, and so if any of those qualify, it's going to show up. So we got every machine that ever had a scan done on it. Okay, so what you need to do to get what you're looking for, because basically what you're looking for is machines that don't have your AV software, or in this case, the 7-zip, right? Think of this as a container, okay? Go find the ones that have it, okay? And this works for any one-to-many relationship. One computer can have many applications. One computer can have many group policies. Okay, go find the ones that have it, but don't. And you go up here to this grouping up here. Don't return me any of those. And now we should have any machine that doesn't have 7-zip, including the ones that haven't been scanned. So this should be 48 minus 12, 36. There it is. All the machines, and you know what? Those machines right there, I was doing maintenance on, and I should have removed them. So that being said, if I look at Allen Rails again, there's no 7-zip or antivirus on there that you'd be looking for. So now you could go and target that dynamic collection for a deployment. Okay. Now, since you've done that, and let's say your boss wants a report, you can right-click on that and say New Report from Collection. And what it's going to do is going to copy that filter over. So now we get all the computers that need AV. And there they are. So you've got them both, right? Dynamic collection, something you're going to work on, target from deploy, report, something you send to your boss.
Yeah, so collections are only admins are going to see it, but reports you can have either put it into a file share or send it to all the people that want the information but don't want to act on it.
Absolutely. I think I beat that one to death, didn't I? Remember those one-to-one and one-to-many relationships and how to get those. All right. Now let's, I'm not going to save this. Let's go back to our report examples. Let's talk about things that you can't get easily. You got to build your own scans for. So in this case, look at this, Task Scheduler Google. I'm going to open this up, this report. I'm going to run it, check that out. Pretty cool. Where'd that data come from? We'll go design this report. And this comes from, oh, I take that back. Sorry, guys, I'm ahead of myself. We do actually capture Task Scheduler information. So again, Task Scheduler, if you want to know what task schedules are running on machines, this is one, again, kind of threw me for a loop. Shane did this one for me yesterday. I've never done it before. But the nice thing about it is I can run this and see every Google task schedule on every machine that's out there. So let's say I wanted to clean that up. I now have a place to go and work on cleaning up Google Task Scheduler. And again, to find that data, we'll grab Allen Rails, Windows Task Schedules right there. Boom. Yeah, let's hit another question.
Dear Lex and Jordan, would it be possible to add an option in PDQ Inventory to remotely uninstall software silently? Thanks, Phil.
Do you want to take this one or do you want me to take it?
Well, we have something built into inventory that is based on the information they put into their uninstall string, where you can build an uninstall package based on their information.
True. You can do that. Let me show you a couple of these. So let's go and get rid of... I'm just trying to think what I want to uninstall here. Let's say I want to uninstall Zoom. So I go to Allen Rails, I click on Zoom, and I right-click on it. Check it out right there. I've got uninstall, and I've got create an uninstall package. I'm going to hit uninstall. It's going to bring up a remote command string, and check it out, MSI /QN, no restart. The great thing about MSI is slam dunk. We already know the quiet silent parameters on those, and so this one, all I've got to do is just execute it. Okay. Now that being said, if you have an uninstall exe, like a 7-zip, you need to go find the silent uninstall parameter and add that to the end. Okay?
I would still click the uninstall because occasionally they'll put the silent in the registry key that we're pulling it from. So there is a chance that the exe will still have it for you, but if not, then you'll have to go find it.
Anytime I see an exe, I still do the research to verify it. So again, that comes directly out of your, if you were to go to Control Panel, Add Remove Programs, it's the same string you'd be running there.
Yep. I have seen on some software where the uninstall will work for that specific version, but not all earlier versions. So you may need to create a couple if you have a variety of the versions installed.
Absolutely. And that generally applies, well, I know that applies to MSIs. Yep. So if you've got an MSI, that big long string you saw that I just closed down, sorry, you can't see it now, that, verify versions, you may want to make a quick collection to run that against, and then boom, you can do that. Excellent. All right, let's jump into some a little more advanced stuff. SQL reports. So if I go back to my report examples here, okay. So SQL reports are anytime, and these are basically you'd go to new report and you'd say, I need a SQL report. And this is where you have to type in the SQL itself. Now guys, I know if you've watched this before, you know watching me type is going to be painful, so we pre-did this, so I'm just going to break it out. So I wanted to go find out, let's go look at all the machines that have been assigned an IP address by DHCP. So I'm going to double click it, it's going to run it, but let's go take a look at the SQL behind it. Okay, I'm looking for computer name, IP address, DHCP from computers where computer address is. Now here's the thing, this is a nested select statement. The where clause right here comes from registry entries, which is a table you can't get to from basic reports. Okay, so we're running that, and this is what it looks like. I get Guinness, the IP address, and it's been tagged as DHCP. Now I'm going to actually go and let's just minimize this and run all the statics. Okay, here we go. Computer name, IP address, type, and every time you click on it, it's going to resort for you. Now you will notice between these two, okay, I've got computer name, IP address, and DHCP and type here. What I want to do is get that into one report. Okay, again, here's the SQL statement behind it. All it is, we're just looking for different options. Okay, I'm going to do a union query. And anytime you do a union query, it's always a good idea to make sure your columns line up. Computer, IP address, and the type. So those two are DHCP and static addresses. Let's go in here and define this report so you can see how this is done. So basically, I took that first one that's looking for static IP addresses. I guess I showed these backwards. And I put that here, and then I did union all, and did the second one, which is the DHCP. And if I run this, you'll now see here's all my static IP addresses. There's all my DHCP IP addresses. Any thoughts on that?
Well, just this is my personal experience with SQL. I'm terrible at it. So you can grab way more information. So if it's important and you want to spend the time, or you know the SQL, you can make a wide variety of just amazing reports. If you're not familiar with SQL, then probably sticking to the more basic you can pull from the filters would work.
Again, the reason we did this one here is a union query. Anytime you're going to union tables together, that's something you're going to have to do in a SQL table. So putting two separate styles of data back together that's not obviously available in basic reports.
And if it was me and I needed a report, I would just ask Stephanie. I'm not going to.
Well, surprise, surprise. Guess what I do? The same thing. I call Steph. Or I use the SQLite Maestro and I go in and graphically look at all the data is what I do. So I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to pass the time over to Jordan, who's going to give you guys a little taste of what's to come, and there's a report based on it. So, all right, so you built all these really cool reports. That old apps report, it's out there. And let's say Jordan's my boss. Jordan, do you want this old app report? How often?
Oh, I'm going to say at least weekly. I want to make sure that you are on task.
Weekly?
Weekly. I'm serious about this.
Wow. All right. So I gotta be honest, guys. I hate doing repetitive tasks, and sending him a report every week is repetitive. So let's automate this, and we do that through AutoReports. Check it out. There's one I did the other day.
Jordan thinks he's a taskmaster.
But
Inventory is.
I've just seen Lex's work ethic, and I really need to stay on top of this.
hey, let's leave my work ethic out of this. My drinking ethic. That's what you should judge everything off of.
I have no qualms about that. That is top notch.
Top notch. My liver has been punished sufficiently. All right, so hit a new auto report, right? You're going to name this. Now, a couple of different methods to go about this. You can do all your monthly reports in one. Personally, I do them separate because let's say Jordan wants a copy of that report again because he deleted it. If I have to go run all monthly reports, again, he's going to get 6 reports, which probably is good because he should pay the price. But you probably don't want to have your boss pay the price, so we're just going to call this the monthly or weekly, weekly old apps. Okay. Now the path
is over.
Pardon me?
Your free ride is over.
That is it. Path. Now, to be honest with you, Jordan, do you want more email, or would you prefer just a folder to get it from?
I'm really good at ignoring email, so let's do that one.
All right. So the path. Now, regardless of whether you email or not, you're going to have a path. You can put this in. I am just going to grab the desktop for the sake of the webcast here, but you'll notice it is a beautiful, wonderful UNC path. UNC path to file share users, Jordan reports, weekly, old app reports, okay? And the file name, The great thing is we've got them broken down. You can run it by report name by date, collection, report and date. And you know what? I want to make Jordan have to import this. I'm running it as a CSV, but we have options. Excel, HTML. Actually, I probably should send it as an HTML page, so he has to have his web browser view it. But all right. Now, the other thing you can do is overwrite that file. If it's a file, let's say you're just pumping out for the sake of importing data, overwrite the file. Absolutely. Triggers, you wanted it weekly?
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
What
listen,
day?
I'm a former exchange administrator, so I know people need the information as frequently as possible so they could never pay attention to it.
What weekday would you like that?
Let's do first thing Monday, obviously. That's when I'm cleaning up the mailbox anyway. And I can,
Monday when you come into work, so that'll be 10 a.m.
11.
Let's talk about work ethic. All right, so there's the time it's going to run. Now, you can set up in preferences. Let me just pop this up really quick. If you go down to mail server, you can set up an SMTP relay. Put the email address. You set that up, and then here at the report, you can put the email address in, and Jordan would get that as an email, but he requested it as a file. So at this point, all I need to do is attach the old apps report, give it an OK, and now we have it scheduled. Now, I know this is going to run. I'm going to trust it, but you know what? I am going to run this just to verify this. I'm going to right-click, run now, and it should put a really cool old app report with the date right over here somewhere.
while that's running,
Yeah.
Shane wanted you to show the registry scanner that he built, just to kind of showcase the scan profile called Miscellaneous Registry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, old apps. There it is. Boom. There's Jordan's report. The date today, 4/23, and his really easily viewable CSV file. All right, back to scanning. Options, scan profiles, and miscellaneous registry scan profile. So in here, Shane is going to scan. Now, when you build a scan profile, right, these can be, obviously you can set triggers on these. You can run them against collections. Shane included the computer detail scan, which is always good to include because it updates computer information. But here's the registry scanner he built. So he went after software policies, Adobe Acrobat Reader, feature lockdown. And he built a report on this. I love it. He did it. So here's the thing. You build a scanner, you have to run it so you can get some data, right? So again, all computers, right-click, select collection, miscellaneous registry scanner, boom, it's going to run. We've already run this. The data's out there, so place to go look for that. Once again, we go down here to registry. There's that information, okay? And the report that we built, Adobe Lockdown. There it is. Okay, we're looking for machines that have pulling the registry value, and the filters are the pattern matches. Again, I love regular expressions. I have to spend about 10 to 15 minutes doing it, and then it works in my mind again. But looking for software where it's got feature lockdown on that. So
Yeah, just like I go to Stephanie for SQL, I'd go to Colby for regex, mostly because I don't think he likes it.
So let me ask you this. So anytime there's something difficult, instead of having to do it, you find the best person to do it?
Well, the thing is,
That's
your niche.
efficient sysadmin.
Well, that's why you always come to me for PowerShell. Because
Absolutely.
Not because I'll give you the best results, but I'm less of a walk than you'd be to talk to Colby.
That is true.
So,
Although Slack, if I figure out Slack, I probably Slack it.
yep, and
Let's hit a question.
Yeah, dear Lex and Jordan, I have an auto report for disk space on our servers. Can I execute a scan of the servers automatically just before running the disk space report? Sincerely, Steve P., which could be Steve Perry, former lead singer of Journey.
Ooh, I love Journey.
we'll say that one, yeah.
I still love Journey. Okay, on your scan profiles, okay, you can go and, what was that registry scan he was looking for, or what was that scan he was looking for again?
He was doing a report for disk space.
Disk space. So disk space report. I always go look at the standard scan and disks right there. So you can make a scanner for disks and have that, and then schedule that scanner to run on all your machines. And I would give it some time before you run the report, but you can obviously schedule that under triggers. Okay, build a new one, build a trigger, maybe a more aggressive trigger that runs daily. Run that, and then that's how you would get that information updated more regularly than, we'll say, your standard scan.
Yeah, that's when you'd probably just want to do the scan like 45 minutes to an hour before. You don't want to try to fine tune and get it to the scan finishes as close as possible to the report, just because then you're going to have at least once where the scan will take a bit too long.
Absolutely. And if it was me, I'd run it at like 6 o'clock and then have the report kick out at midnight. So you got plenty of time in there for that to run. So that being said,
Real quick, Shane says that register one is using pattern matching, not regular expression.
I wish Shane was here. Thank you, Shane. It's a good thing he is paying attention to correct me when I'm wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't
which
have
is
done it.
often.
I had no idea.
All right, so I'm going to hand this over to Jordan. He's going to give you a little taste of something cool, and then show you a report built off of it.
Let's bring that over here.
Poured myself a little fun, and JJ wants some too. So on that note, Jordan, here's your sanitizer, Mr. Ninja.
Hello.
All right.
All right, now he's gone. I'm safe. And sanitized. All right. So what I'm going to go over is what's in the beta is the PowerShell Scanner and how you can run reports based off that. And to kind of go over that, I wanted to go over. We have a GitHub out there, and that is not centered at all. Yep. We have a GitHub out there that Nate and Colby have done a lot of pretty awesome scanners for you. And then they have instructions on how you can import that. You're just going to need to put Git on your server. We have a package on deploy, makes it very easy for you. And we just have, I think 7 or 8, I should know this. I just wrote about most of these scanners out there for you. But we always want more. So if you have an idea of something you've written, I mean, put in a pull request. We'd love to get that added. Just the more scanners we have in there, the more value we can provide. And if we put them in there, then if you're downloading that way, you just have to update Git, and the scanners will update for any issues for you automatically without having to make the manual change.
So we have the file scanner, the WMI scanner. This is the universal scanner. You can pretty much do anything with it. If you can write it in PowerShell, you can make a scanner.
Yep.
It's like one scanner to rule them all.
Yeah,
the scanner to end all scanners.
Yes. Occasionally, Lex does come over to me and says, "Can we do this with PowerShell?" And I've never asked why. The answer is yes. Yes, I can. And then I do it, and sometimes it gets me in trouble. Sometimes no problem.
But we're making Chris so giddy right now.
Yep.
Can you make my coffee with PowerShell? That's the one. When you do that, that's the winner.
So we actually had at one point brought in a coffee machine where it was theoretically possible, but we got the wrong version where they added security and it didn't work. But we were close to actually having PowerShell make a cup of coffee. We're actually going to have Deploy brew a cup of coffee for us. All right, so in the GitHub, we did the install, and it puts it in a folder on the C drive, just because, as it mentions in there, currently PowerShell Scanner does not accept variables, so we just put it on the root of C. And then just if you come to Scan Profiles at Import, we put them all in this PowerShell Scanners folder. And you can just, each of these is going to have an XML where it will load that for you. So this is a great way to really test it out, see what's in there, give you some ideas, and if there's something you think would be awesome, share it with us. So I went in there and I used the Get User Profile Size, just because I've seen a lot of people, they are downloading their mailbox, so they got the OST file with all those PDFs, but then they download each PDF as well in the C drive, and it's cumbersome and issues. So we went in there. We'll just go to all computers here and we'll scan those with the collection. It's just PS dash, what did I say? I was using profile size, right?
Yep, yeah. Use profile size.
Thank you. I should remember that. All right.
I remember because we wrote the report and I was trying to figure out, is it bits, bytes, or megabytes?
I just know there's a lot of numbers in there. All right, while it's running, we'll go to the reports that, not AutoReports, reports. Nice. Nailed it. That Lex wrote for me while I tried to figure out what he named it. Do you remember what you named this one?
Large user profiles.
I'm not. Did you put it in the examples folder? There it is. Oh, subfolders.
Gotta love it.
So you go to define the report on the filters. It really is just once you do the PowerShell scanner, it shows up in the list of filters you can choose from, where I chose the user profile size that it defined at that time. You can select whatever columns you want from that one, and then just run it and let you know the sizes of your different profiles.
I'm kind of interested. Can you show me the scanner?
The scanner itself?
Yeah. That's what people want to see. I mean, reports, I just showed them a bunch. Show them a scanner, dude.
All right, well, at first it's going to look not like you're hoping. We'll go to user profile. Nah, that's not what I wanted.
So is this what happens when we don't do a dry run on this?
So we're just going to pull it up here and edit. And we have a best practices blog out there where you see we have it as a file. We recommend file over script. The script works, but we recommend the file just because it's easier to have source control and it's in a script editor for you. So if we see where we hand that open, we'll go ahead and open the script. Boy, that is not centered at all either.
So are you going to punch me afterwards for not bringing this up earlier while you're looking it up?
No. What, is the window no good? Oh,
Just center it.
I can kind of see. Oh,
There
we are. No, I'm a professional. All right, and so for this one, it's a pretty straightforward script. We're doing the get child item for the C users, looking at directories only, and then for each directory, we're doing another get child item where we're doing a recurse, and then piping that into a measure object, sum, and that's what gives you the profile size.
Love that.
All right, and then you'll see this a lot in a lot of scripts that we have built in there. At the end, we build a PS custom object, and that's just so we have a bit more control of what the results are, and we can make our table look just that much better. So we're getting readable data.
Trying to make your table sexy, are you?
Oh yeah, you got to have sexy tables. And so that one, I mean, do we want to look at some of the other ones so you can?
You know, man, I thank you. I just wanted to see how it was done because it's all magic on the back end to me. But thank you. Beautiful.
All right, so for Lex's purposes, he saw that I opened PowerShell and there are words here. Hopefully, everyone that's tuning in actually
it's not just magic.
Is following along. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's in beta right now. It should be coming out. I don't know exact date, but soon. TM.
Soon, TM. Trademark that one. You gotta do the TM.
So if you have the beta, I would really recommend going to our GitHub and use that. And I was doing it wrong. If I'm being honest, I was doing it wrong. Follow the practices they have in there; it'll help you out.
Read the instructions and it works great. Okay.
Yep. All right, so we have a speed round for questions.
Okay. Speed round time. Dear Lex and Jordan, I have a report of computers with domain accounts as local admins. It shows the data I expect, but when turned into a collection, the results are different. What could be wrong? Sincerely, Billy Z.
I know this, right? Reporting, you can report on more than just computer names. When you do a collection, it's just going to show you computers that qualify. So,
without seeing the report, it's
kind of difficult. But yeah, so just remember, when you run a dynamic collection, you're going to get computers that qualify for whatever your filters are. Reporting, I can write filters for Google Chrome and then I can show any information against that. I can show disk size on machines that have Google Chrome. So, just make sure, dynamic collections are looking for computers that you can do work on. Reports are looking for, you're going to be able to get in-depth information on those machines or the applications.
Yeah. And that one, if that doesn't get you down the right path, that's one where if you send in a ticket, we could probably help you work through that one to figure out where maybe it's gone off base a little bit. Next question.
I just want to point something else out. You got to be kind of careful when you're looking for those credentials. If you're looking in the wrong table, local users versus domain admins and that kind of thing. I mean, I'm trying to do this without it in front of my head. You can run into issues. So I would definitely send the report in because support will be super fast and easy to get you help with that.
Okay, next question. PDQ Deploy and PDQ Inventory. Best to run on the same server or separate servers? Should they use the same accounts? Sincerely, Mike Rowe, fabulous voiceover artist and host of Dirty Jobs.
I think absolutely on the same server, and using the same credentials is definitely going to work better for you. If you have different credentials, you're going to have sometimes there's too many active connections type scan that shows up. So you want to use the same credentials. It can be a service account that has the permissions you need as the background service for both of those and have them on the same server, and it should be probably the best for you.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Dear Lex and Jordan, PDQ Inventory is not showing up under Start menu anymore. Tried reinstalling, but I still need to drill down to Install folder and run console.exe. Any fixes for this? Sincerely, Jorlando.
I haven't seen this, so I'm not.
You know what I would do? If you find that exe, but just build a shortcut for it. I mean, I don't know why that would happen, but again, just build yourself a shortcut, point it at it, and you're good to go, man.
Yeah, that is an interesting one.
Next.
And our next one is a novel. Prepare yourselves. I really love the auto-update software packages feature. However, have you considered providing an integrated script library, like scripts that use utilities like Bleachbit, cleanup scripts, with the ability to update them using a central repository similar to auto-update of software? Or is there already a central script store I'm unaware of? Thanks, Edwin H.
Oh, well, I mean, we started something for that for the new universal, the PowerShell scanner. As far as something like that for the reporting or other scanners, I don't think we have anything of that or.
Well, it's. I will say this, right? I mean, I've talked to a ton of customers. Everybody wants information a little different, and so we're hoping that we can make the reporting and that kind of thing easy enough for you. You can tweak it. A good place if you're looking for filter. Examples of good filters, open the collection library. Those filters are amazing. Copy those. You can right-click on them, build new report from filter, from collection, and modify them from there. That may help you get where you're going. But yeah, it's hard to know what everybody wants.
Dear Lex and dear Jordan, is there a way to copy a version number into the applications list for non-standard software that doesn't behave? Sincerely, C. Paris.
So if it's non-standard, that's probably going to be something that's unique for each non-standard software. There's not going to be a universal one, but it'd probably involve the join part of the reporting you're talking about, or I don't know.
I would do this. I mean, if you're trying to build a collection and you're looking for software that's not in the package library that we don't have versions for, you can always do a custom variable and then reference that custom variable. And as that updates, you can change the custom variable and your collections and your reports will change that way. There are videos on how to do that. That's the way I would go about it if I'm getting your question correct.
Yeah, there's not going to be a universal for that one. It's going to be a per software trial and error thing.
Hey, Lex and Jordan, how did you get the application version to show up in the filters? Sincerely, Jerry A.
You want me to come up and show?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Trade your spots.
I'm getting back way. All right. I'm out of here.
This is perfect. I can get more liquor.
Oh, does that mean I couldn't remember if I brought mine over or not? So this is mine? I can drink this. All right.
All right. Okay, can you pop that question one more time? I want to know if it's in a report or a dynamic collection that we're doing this. I can show both. And application report. Okay, so application report, right? Let's just go and do this. We're going to go to reports, application report. We're going to duplicate it. I'm going to go into the new duplication. There it is, version. There's the version number right there. If you want to filter on that version, under defined, we go to filters, add a filter, go to the application table. Once again, you can find that data under computer application, under column here. There's your version. There's your comparisons. And remember, anytime you do versions, use the version comparisons. That was that redundant thing I did at the beginning. So that's how you do it right there. I think that, hopefully that answers your question.
And here's a follow-up question. How did you get that WMI report to show the GPOs applied when we first started the stream? Again, Jerry A.
All right, Jerry. First of all, if you go to our YouTube channel and you look up inventory scanners, there's a bunch of custom scanners I've built that you can follow along, but I will show you right now. Go to options. We're going to go to scan profiles. We're going to build a new scan profile. In this case, here's our new scan profile. Name it GPO, and then you're going to add a WMI scanner. Okay, and when you name it when you do the scanner name, that's the table it's going to build. So we'll call this applied GPO2, just because we've already got, and there's my spelling, 2. Okay. And I'm not so good at writing WQL queries, so I hit launch WMI scanner. The great thing about this, from here, it's a click, and is that better? All right. And from here, it's a bunch of double clicks. Double click, maybe a GPO filter. Surprise, looks like I've done this before, huh? Once you select that, check it out. Here's your WQL query right here. I always like to run them first to make sure, see how fast that run won. Because we did a look for Microsoft keys filter or query, ran for 40 minutes until we put the where clause in. And the other thing I like to do is look for the data. There it is, name. If I want to just narrow that down to a name, I'm going to alter the query right there, run it again, there it is. Copy that. Remember the table you got, or namespace you got it from, RSOP computer. Paste that in, change that to RSOP, and I am going to spell this with weird capital letters. Now the thing, spelling matters, which obviously I have an issue with.
Typing matters, Lex. Typing matters.
Beat on the guy who can't do it. All right, so here's the thing. It's case insensitive. Make sure your spelling's correct, okay? In this case, you'd save this. We now have GPO2. It would build that table. In fact, I could probably run that for you real quick. We'll run that GPO scanner against everybody, and it will run that fast. Okay, the only overhead in this case is connecting and returning data. So boom, boom, boom. As soon as somebody returns data, I'll show it to you, which will be really fast. Copying, running, returning data, saving data. All right, Allen Rails. Again, I just did this. We go down to WMI. Here's our list of tables. There's GPO2, and it's just got the name. So, is this the speed round? Wow,
This is speed round.
Do I lose already?
You've lost points.
That was 4 minutes into a
That was
question.
not speedy.
You've
Wow.
won on information, though.
Hey, but I answered your
yeah,
question.
won on information.
Okay, next question. Speed round style. When in the computer section, local group, why can't I remove users from those groups directly from PDQ? Sincerely, Filler.
When in the computer section. Okay,
So
yeah, go ahead.
the my answer to that one would be it's not really an active connection to those user accounts or those groups. It's just a report of what was there. If you wanted to remove them, you could use a scanner of some type where you could remove actively groups that you didn't want or users from groups. It just would involve writing some PowerShell.
What he said.
All right. Dear Lex and Jordan, is it possible to have AutoReports run only when data is on them, such as email a low disk space report only when a computer is on it? Sincerely, J. Flowers. Jennifer Flowers. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Hey. All right, so I know Jordan and I think we did a webcast on this. Basically, what you have to do is put the file out to, you run it, you put it out to a file. It's going to run regardless of what's out there. And then you have PowerShell parse it and then distribute if there's something there to look at. But
It's
no.
not innate. It takes a bit of work.
Yep, it takes a bit of work, but I believe there's a webcast. I can't remember which one where we did that. So
Kobe will find it.
Colby, yeah.
Dear Lex and Jordan, what is Adobe Lockdown? Sincerely, Alex N.
So
Has Shane typed that in yet?
yeah, he answered in there. 1 second, I'm going to go up and see if I can find what Shane typed.
I'm going to go with what Shane says.
The chat will go away when we.
Yeah.
When we
Uh-oh.
Which is why I'm trying to.
Shane, if you're there, buddy, type in because I'm not sure what Adobe Lockdown is.
Yeah,
Jordan's looking for it now.
I'm scrolling up, so keep talking while I look.
Keep talking while you look. Check Slack, man. Shane's probably there.
Adobe Lockdown.
Yeah, I'm not finding it.
Never heard that before.
When I
So-
was in front of the
Oh,
camera,
I know what it is.
I saw his answer.
I know what Adobe Lockdown is. It's that shelter in place. You can only read your Adobe at your house.
So it says
No.
Adobe Lockdown is one of many features to control Adobe Reader.
Thank you for the real answer, Jordan.
Thank you, Emily.
Emily,
And
well,
followed
hey,
closely by Shane.
high five. And I like my answer better. And it's fiction, but I liked it better.
I think we already did this one, didn't we?
We did.
Okay, let's move along. Do you have a tool to list the mapped network drives for a user? Sincerely, TMS.
Do I have a tool?
Yeah, that one of the scanners on the GitHub that we went over for the universal scanner has the PowerShell for doing that.
Nope, here it is. Bring it on. Map drives, boom. PowerShell Scanner. Coming soon
Yep, so
in a theater near you.
yeah, we recommend using that one. If you want to write your own, that'll give you a start.
Boom. Speed round answer.
Okay, next question. What would you recommend as a starting place for someone to learn PowerShell basics? Thanks, Alex N.
Anything
Gonna
by
pass
Don
that to you.
Jones.
By who?
Don Jones.
Don Jones?
And he did PowerShell by Month of Lunches. He has a couple of others out there.
Did you say Tom Jones?
No, not
What's
the singer.
up,
No.
Okay.
Not Tom. Don. Donald.
Yeah, he's really active at the PowerShell Summit when they're able to have those, and he is
Whoa,
he is a
whoa,
real
whoa.
ambassador for PowerShell, and his books are fantastic for getting started. I'd recommend anything by him.
I'm definitely going to defer to Jordan. So
In SQL Reports, the GETDATE function doesn't work. What syntax should I be using to get relative dates? Mr. Robbie in space.
all right, Mr. Rogers,
Robbie.
because I can't read that. But anyway, Mr. R. Hey, this is a SQLite database, so SQLite syntax is going to work for you. So check it there. I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head, but SQLite syntax.
Kelly.
When making a new application collection, is there any way in the columns to show what version is currently installed? Sincerely, Jerry A.
And collection. So here's the thing about collections. Once again, let's just pop open, old. Okay. So yes, there's a way to put versions in here. The issue you're going to run into is it's the same. I can go and put, well, actually, no, I take that back. You cannot put versions in there. This shows computer table information up here, and application table information is in the application table. So no, sorry, man, you can't do it. There's bad ways to do it. You'd have to manually. I wouldn't do it. So no, we'll go with no on that. I can think of bad ways to do it. All right.
Dear Lex and Jordan, how do I uninstall Microsoft Teams from PDQ Deploy? Jerry A.
All right. I would go find a machine that has Microsoft Teams on it. I don't know that I've got one. I don't think I have one in the lab, but basically you find it here under Applications.
I can show another application.
Microsoft, let's say we want to get rid of Visual C. Let's say that's it, right? Create an uninstall package. Okay, now here's the thing with uninstall packages and MSIs. If you notice when this bad boy shows up right there, I go and I take a look. You see this? Let me see if I can pull this in the middle here. Right there, that probably is dependent on version. So make sure for each of the versions of Teams, if there are multiple versions of Teams that you have out there, you have an uninstall for each version, and that should work for you.
All right. Possibly our final question. How about a report that shows inventory with old applications that missed the last related scheduled package deployment in PDQ Deploy? Thanks, S. Parker.
My first take with that is I would have the retry queue go. So if it didn't, it will attempt again in the future to install it. But as far as a report on that, I'm not.
Au contraire, mon frère. I would do that different.
Okay.
I like the retry queue. Yes, you could do it that way. Better off, heartbeat schedule, so you get them when they come on. Retry queue will do it, and it's kind of the brute force method. Heartbeat schedule, a little more elegant. Go after it. As for building a report, you're probably obviously going to have to go and look in the SQL tables. I have actually never looked for that data. So that would be in the SQL tables to see when the schedules run. You could probably look under, let's see, I guess you probably look under deployments, but if it missed a deployment, it would have the information in that table. So I'm just kind of talking through this, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that one's going to require a lot of trial and error.
Yeah, yeah. Just do the heartbeat of the retry schedule, and you'll catch them that way.
Yep.
All right, we have 2 questions left. Is it possible to deploy to a target collection and exclude another target collection? Norbert S.
Absolutely. This is the way I like to do it. Let's say I'm going to upgrade Java because, there's always some legacy program that needs old Java, right? So what you do is go into inventory. You're going to build a new dynamic collection of, here's Java. And then, let's say these are machines we'll just call these the no update machines. And if your cap locks is set up different than mine, no updates. What you do is not let me, and then actually this wouldn't be a dynamic, it'd be a static collection. Sorry, static collection. We're gonna go no updates. We're gonna add Allen Rails just because it's an easy one to add. Boom, there it is. No updates. And then what you would do in your dynamic collection is computers with said application name contains 7-zip. And then you would add a filter for member of collection. I'm thinking we have to...
Yeah. Member of or not a member of
Not
collection.
a member of. So you'd probably have to break this down. I've got one of these somewhere. So here's the thing. You go in and say, look, find the machines that are... We got to put another grouping in here, I think, and then drop this as a sub. But basically say it's okay to deploy on anything. I'm just talking all over myself here.
It always seems easy when you're not in front of the camera doing it
I
live.
know. No update. I think we have to put no update in a sub and say they have to be part of this, but no.
Yeah, I think you'd need a new filter option.
There it is.
Not
There it
any.
is. Okay, no update. Boom. Delete.
There we go.
Delete this guy. I'm gonna totally.
We're gonna get there, just not in the speed round parameters.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's
Not anybody that is in no update. I
Clock's
think that's
ticking.
gonna work.
snail around.
Yeah, computer collection is not member.
Not
Boy,
member of no update.
Having
So
access
it's
to the Slack is nice.
Thank you. Having access to Slack is nice. Okay, so what you really want, go ahead. Because I am just going to sit here and think over this. Well, you just say it's got to be not part of a collection.
We have 2 monitors over there.
Yeah,
so
it's
this
not
was on
member
you.
of computer collection.
All right. Can be done.
Yeah,
I've had
do it
videos.
the way we've
That probably might
suggested
work,
randomly
maybe.
About,
I don't
not
know.
the way we showed.
All right, last question.
Last question, final question. No more questions.
No more.
That's it. I use PDQ to update our Chrome browsers. It's great, but it locks users out from updating on their own. Is there an option to allow updates by some end users, such as developers, domain admins, etc.? Thanks, Kevin S.
All right, so go ahead.
Well, usually the one in our product is the enterprise one, which installs for the computer, where if they're installing their own, it's a user-based one, which I think is where we could run into the problem with that one. It's a user profile-based one.
So there's a couple ways. Yes, there is that. 2, you could go in and download. So let's say this is our production version of Chrome. It goes to everybody. We could download another version of Chrome from our package library. And what you do is go and put in a post step that turns off the auto update notifications, and that which would be, and then you could send that to your developers or those people specifically.
Yeah, the other option, I guess, is if you had a collection that didn't include all the ones you wanted to update, but not the ones you didn't want to, you could just have Chrome go to that one and leave it up to the ones that aren't a member of that.
So what you're saying is there's many ways up this hill.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, I need to learn how the speed round works, don't I?
Well, I think we proved that we are drinking.
That is true.
More than usual.
I got to say this. Thank goodness for Slack and Shane on the other end. He can answer all the questions I can't, which is most of them. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, stay safe, stay healthy, sanitize. And I'm Lex from PDQ.com.
I'm Jordan.
Guys have a good one.
Thanks for joining our webcast and helping us learn that slow is a speed as well. Congratulations, Alex N. and Jerry A., winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again for joining us. Stay safe, and we'll see you back here next week.